Hello everyone, I'm Jilin and welcome back to our channel today. Today I'm so delighted to be joined by Kurt Farrugia.
Thank you for the invite. It's my pleasure to be here.
Can you just introduce yourself a bit for us, please?
Sure. Well, I come from a very varied background. So my career started as a journalist. So basically, I was heading the government communications as well as acting as a spokesperson for the Prime Minister of Malta. I was CEO of Malta Enterprise, and that's where the business and global mobility comes in. So basically, it's the Foreign Direct Investment Agency for the government of Malta. And then after 5 years at Malta Enterprise, for 2 years, I went into transport. And, that's a completely different world, which I enjoyed for a couple of years and gave me a very different perspective of the operational aspect of work. So basically, I always kept basically the same thread in communications, because in all the jobs that I have done, communications, marketing, and reaching people, communicating with people was a very important aspect of all the work that I've done. Particularly now that I am at Residency Malta, it's a crucial aspect of the work that we do, particularly to reach new audiences and to speak to people in a human way, in a way where we can put across the message that Malta is a very good jurisdiction to live, to reside, and also to do business.
I would like to start by talking about your journey into this role.
Malta is the right jurisdiction to do business in terms of ease of doing business, in terms of processing, in terms of how we are agile as a jurisdiction. The fact that you can meet people very quickly, so basically the decision-making process is one that is rapid. At the same time, we do all our due diligence, we do all our processes in the correct way. We're a European jurisdiction, of course, so we're governed by EU regulations as well, which is in a way very important also in how we do business, how we do our approach to meeting people and to attract people to Malta. So that's an important aspect.
Yeah, because I noticed you keep emphasize the word attracting like business people, talent. Like, what kind of people would you like to see that they choose in Malta?
So once again, it's very similar. The things that we offer as a jurisdiction are agility and ability to do business quickly. Also, having the right culture in terms of the way we work. It's a very Anglo-Saxon culture where it comes to working. So we're very hard workers, but we also enjoy life.
Yeah.
And that's true for everyone who touches with Malta. We ensure throughout our work that we get people with good reputation. And that's crucial because we want the people who are in Malta, the people who are moving either personally with their families or with their business, to feel part of a safe community. One of the biggest advantages that we have as an island is it is one of the safest places in the world to be, for children, for women, for families, for everyone. And I think that's a crucial aspect, whether you are doing business, whether you are here for vacation or you're here to work. And I would dare say probably in Europe, one of the best quality of living that you can find in Europe.
And I would like to go through about, you mentioned, Malta has Residency Malta has a really important responsibility to attracting talent, like international talent, while protecting Malta's reputation. And how will you strengthen the transparency and the public trust?
I have to say that I found at Residency Malta an extremely good team and a very good foundation. The processes are very transparent. The way we are agile, but at the same time doing all the things right. So multi-tier due diligence, at the same time give an answer and have a residency permit within 3 to 4 months, at the same time giving the applicant a temporary residence permit. I would say that all the foundations at Residency Malta, and of course the success of the program itself speaks for itself, is already a very good place to start. And the people that are the professional people that are working at Residency Malta know the value we give to the people we give service to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very important element. Of course, then there is the growth path that we're looking at. And the way we are looking at the business is not just the process part, but also the business development and the way we are looking at new markets to ensure that our clientele and the people who are, at the end of the day, the families who are coming to Malta are diversified and add more value also to the variety of people that we have in Malta, particularly when it comes to talent, because we do not look at the economy simply in terms of business, but we also look at the economy in terms of the talent that we can attract towards our island.
Because I'm curious in like, as a new CEO, you always step with organization already has like their own expertise. And how do you combine your own like leadership with the expertise already within the agency?
When it comes to having a role as chief executive officer, you are not required to be technical. You are required to manage people, to manage the programs, to manage the organization in the right way, as well as to have a vision where you want to go.
Mm.
So you have to rely a lot on the expertise that you find in an organization.
Yeah.
If you do not have that expertise, you procure that expertise and you find that expertise. But at the same time, what I can say is throughout my journey, my working journey, I always found the right people, and it was in a way not easy, but it makes my life easier. Then it's about having a vision and where you want to take the organization, or in the case of residency, but also in the case of transport and Malta Enterprise, it's where we want the islands to go for the future. And in part, we had, and I always had a role in the economic aspect of the islands, particularly with the government having a vision which takes us for the next 25 years until 2050. And that's important because it shows, first of all, stability as a jurisdiction, political stability, because even in terms of vision, there is cross-party agreement. So the policies, even though there will be your usual political debate and discussions, but the direction is very similar. So we know, and it was part of the recipe of the success of the island, that in terms of policy, there are no major policy shifts. There haven't been for the past years, and I don't envisage there to be major policy changes in the economic direction or the way programs are taken forward. So that provides also our clients and the people who are looking at Malta to either reside or to do business, the peace of mind that for the foreseeable future, there are not going to be major changes, which is very different from other jurisdiction also in Europe. Because I'd say if you look at the programs that there are in Europe, you will find that there are good programs, but when it comes to policy shifts, they tend to change very quickly.
Yeah.
So that future peace of mind that you want in a program and you know the policy won't change, that's probably very unique to Malta because there is a lot of stability when it comes to the policy direction.
Version you would like to continue from the previous CEO, the Jonas and Cordelia?
100%. As I said, the foundation at the Residency Malta Agency is very good. So in a way, makes my life a lot easier.
Mm.
I have to say that Jonathan was a very, very dear friend of mine, and we've been friends for years. So it was, in a way, sad for me to enter the role he occupied until a few weeks ago, sit in his chair.
Mm.
The experience that he had in migration and um, the area is was very important for where the program is at the moment. So in a way, it's big shoes to fill where it comes to the expertise he had in the sector, but at the same time, it is also a good opportunity for me to just build on what Jonathan started and what the previous CEOs also started. The most important part is that the foundations are right. So
Mm.
now we can think a little bit beyond
Yeah.
and be a little bit more innovative where it comes to the Malta Permanent Residency Program, but also our Nomad
Mm.
program, which is a very successful one,
Yeah.
and possibly think of new avenues and new niches where we can target the needs of the island when it comes to the economic, particularly the economic needs. And that is how we can now, through the good foundations that I found, think a little bit beyond what we've done until now. And that's a very exciting challenge for me.
What is you prioritize for your first 100 days as a new CEO?
Very interesting because usually 100 days are linked to politicians, and I am not a politician. But first of all, is getting to know people in the industry.
Mm.
My first couple of weeks, this is literally my third week in office, I've spent most of it meeting stakeholders, not just the agents, but also, of course, getting to know the people at Residency Malta,
Yeah.
getting to know the companies that offer services, due diligence services, for instance, because that is something which is close to our mission. So having proper due diligence on our applicants to ensure that the people who enter our islands are of good repute,
Mhm.
and that's very important, not just for the applicants, but also for everyone who lives in Malta, but also for the ones that make it through the residency program, because you would want your neighbor to be of good repute. So the people who come through the program know that they are among the hundreds and thousands of people who would have gone through a very thorough process. Of course, it's also diversifying the market.
Mm.
So at the moment, we're looking at new markets. Of course, China remains a very important market for us, and we have always been very welcoming. But then you have other jurisdictions such as Vietnam, such as India and
Yeah.
Pakistan, such as Africa. Of course, the US and the UK. The US and the UK are particularly important markets because I'm sure that they will find a very hospitable place in Malta, and our culture comes well from an Anglo-Saxon background, and I'm sure that the people in the UK and the people in the US find in Malta a good place where to live. We all speak English, so that's all part of how we are looking at not just um, what we've done right in the past. We'll keep doing that, but also diversifying and being a little bit more innovative when it comes to looking in the right places where to get the people to come through our programs.
So that brings to my next question, because you mentioned the market about China, India, Pakistan, and how do you expect them to evolve in the coming years?
Well, again, it's diversifying a little bit our client base and our applicant base. And the way we do it is by being present in these jurisdictions and meeting the right people to ensure that primarily the applicants know what Malta stands for.
Mhm.
Because we are not selling a program, we are there to offer a lifestyle. We are there to offer a place where you can work, where you can learn, where you can live in a comfortable way and also give back to the island and give back to the country through talent, through work, and through other means, of course, that are available to the applicants.
So this is what you think can make Malta stand out from that many countries competing from global mobile people?
There are many factors. So the fact that once you apply, that within 3 to 4 months you will get an answer, and you will get, if successful, a permanent residency card. That is a very important aspect because other jurisdictions are not as agile as we are. We do our things right, so we do all the due diligence on the applicants, but we can guarantee that within 4 months you will get your permanent residence card. At the same time, it's as I said, policy stability is very important. Other jurisdictions do not offer that. And the other thing is the lifestyle. So we're a Mediterranean lifestyle, a very strong with a very strong work ethic, and that is something that we take pride in, and that's the makeup of the Maltese population.
So what do you think about international education can help the families, like it grows them to their get more high quality life in Malta?
So a bit on the history of Malta, we've always been very welcoming to foreigners and to people who come from other countries. So we've been a British colony, we've been under various rulers before. So Malta, even the people in Malta are diverse, I would say, and also it's a melting pot of cultures. We're bang in the middle of the Mediterranean, so our north is mainly Europe, and our to our south is North Africa. Then, of course, very close to the Middle East. We're also close to other jurisdictions. So in Malta, you will find all nationalities you can think of. So that's another important point to point out. Basically, people in Malta will find that it's very easy to live and very easy to meet different cultures, and that is an important aspect. It's an important aspect because culturally we are very welcoming as a nation, but also it's easy to live here in Malta. And that's part of the beauty of our islands. We're a melting pot of cultures, a melting pot of different and diverse backgrounds that live in Malta.
I mean, education is the big factor. I mean, those international families, when they're considered where to live.
Education is a big part of who we are as a nation, and that's why we're advancing, I believe. That's why we're an economic powerhouse, I would say, in Europe, because our education system is very robust. Our private schools are very important to the ecosystem. Our national schools are also extremely good. So the education system, ever since, so we've all been through our education system. It's, first of all, we teach in English and Maltese, our native language. It's part of our, basically English is part of, it's a second language in Malta. And that makes it easier for our students to learn and also be open to internationalize.
They have big opportunities for them.
And for us, migration is not just bringing in people, but also having our people to internationalize their avenues, to have avenues beyond Malta. And that's part of who we are, and that's part of how I want my children to grow in an international environment, and also to be able to travel as much as possible, to meet people, to meet different cultures, and also possibly to work and study abroad.
Is that the way that how you measured your success in this role?
So the way I would say is to, first of all, ensure that we keep the direction that we've started in the past years, basically by having a very good processing period and ensuring that our due diligence and the robustness of our program remains, but also diversifying the markets. So China, as I already explained, is an important market, but once again, we're looking at different jurisdictions.
Yeah.
We're also looking at not just the jurisdiction, but different. There's different ways of looking at migration, possibly through particular professions and particular talent that we need to attract towards the island. And that's something that we're looking at. I don't want to rush because basically the program is doing fine, but we're also looking to be innovative and also linking the migratory aspect to what the country needs. And that's, I think, a very important aspect. And the people who we target at the end of the day are the people who would add value to what we stand for as a nation.